Hi, my name is Patty Smith. Today I'll be talking to you about using and understanding data for school improvement. Why should the vision of our school reflect the cultural diversity of our students? As the U.S. becomes a more culturally diverse nation, public schools must become more diverse too. Cultural diversity enhances the school experience. There's a richness that comes from students working side by side with others who are not of the same cookie-cutter mold. As public schools become more diverse, demands will increase to find the most effective ways to help all students succeed academically. Now let's look at our school vision statement. We'll analyze how the school is meeting its demands. Smithville High School strives to educate the whole person by ensuring an outstanding and safe learning environment which nurtures the unique talents of the individual student. Let's break this down into bite-sized pieces. We are striving to educate the whole person. We ensure an outstanding and safe learning environment. We nurture the unique talents of the individual student. The next step will be to look at how our school is meeting the current vision statement. Our district has recently revised its safety plan. We have taken a huge step toward providing the safest environment for our students. We have now recently added lockdown drills and practice emergency evacuation drills in addition to the procedures that we already had. Our classroom doors are also kept locked throughout the day in order to ensure the utmost safety for our students. Now let's look at how our school is not meeting the current vision statement. The Arkansas Comprehensive School Improvement Plan, or ACSIP as we call in Arkansas, lists literacy as priority 5 due to a significant gap in the achievement scores between the Caucasian students at 72.09% proficient or advanced and the subpopulation of African American students at 42.1% proficient or advanced. Comparing the 2012 EOC scores with the 2013 EOC scores, it shows a 31.75% increase in the combined population. When we found this out, we were so excited. It was huge. It was a big jump. However, when we compared the Caucasian scores and the African American scores, they revealed that the Caucasian scores came up from 50.0% in 2012 to 72.09% in 2013. Yet, the African American scores stayed the same at 42.1 each year. The difference in the Caucasian scores translates to a 69.35% increase from 2012 to 2013, while the African American scores show no change at all. Let's look at 4 kinds of data that are essential to our high school and 4 kinds of data that we'll be looking at today. The first one, demographic, perceptual, number 2, number 3, student learning data, and the 4th, school process data. The first kind of data that we'll look at today is demographic data. Demographic data are a part of our educational system from which we can observe trends and gather information for the purposes of prediction and planning. Looking at this, our teacher-student ratio in the English classes in the high school are 1 teacher to every 19 students on average. This is a great percentage. We have 268 students enrolled in grades 9 through 12 with 185 Caucasians, 73 African Americans, 3 Asians, and 7 Hispanic students. Our high school faculty consists of 32 certified teachers and 8 non-certified staff members for a total count of 40 employees. The race breakdown for our high school is certified staff, 29 Caucasians, 2 African American, and 1 Asian. On non-certified staff, we have 6 Caucasian and 2 African Americans. Our current graduation rate is 81.82%. The 3-year trend shows an increase in approximately 10 percentage points, and I put the percentages there for you to see. Continuing on, the Smithville School District was established in 1927. It covers 570 square miles. Much of the district is in very rural Arkansas, very rural area. I found out some of our children have to get on the bus at 6 a.m. in order to come to school. Our county's unemployment rate is 9.8, which is down from 10.7 in 2010 and 12.9 in 2009. The poverty index is 22.6. Data indicate that many people are working, but they're still living below the poverty level. Smithville High School has 187 out of 268 students who qualify for free and reduced lunch. This translates to 69.78% of our student population are living at or below the poverty level. Next, I have two graphs that I made for you to look at today. The first one is on average daily attendance. This is demographic data that's very important. How well are our students coming to school? In 2013, our average was 95.05, and it's actually up quite a bit from the year before. Also, I made this little graph that shows in the blue, you can see on the right-hand side, the Caucasians, 69% of our student population, African Americans, 27%, Asian Pacific Islander, 1%, and Hispanic students, 3%. Another chart, graph, this is poverty and unemployment for our county, and you can see that the percent in poverty is quite a bit higher than the unemployment rate. Again, that's what I was saying a while ago. A lot of our people are working, but they're still living below the poverty level for our nation. Now let's look at the head count statistics per grade level. These are very interesting data. Looking at the 12th grade this year, we have 53 students in 12th grade, 35 white or Caucasian, 1 Hispanic, 16 African American or Black, and 1 Asian. 11th grade, we have a total of 61 students, 42 white or Caucasian, 2 Hispanic, 16 Black or African American, and 1 Native American. In 10th grade, we have 68 students, 48 of those are white or Caucasian, 0 Hispanic, 19 Black or African American, and 1 Native American. In 9th grade, it's our largest grade in the high school, we have 83 students, 60 of those are white or Caucasian, 0 Hispanic, 22 are Black or African American, and 1 is Native American. The next graph, I love this graph. This shows how Smithville High School compares to other high schools in our area of the state in southeast Arkansas. And if you'll look in the lower right quadrant, on the right-hand side, you'll see an orange oval, and over that orange oval, there is a brown or tan colored oval right on top of the orange oval in that quadrant. That is Smithville High School. So you can see how we rate with the other schools in this area, and this is looking at the grade 11 literacy 2013 scores. Now we'll move to our next kind of data that we'll look at today, and that's perceptual data, my favorite. Perceptual data indicate how satisfied people are, the parents, the students, the teachers, how they perceive our learning environment, and it can be eye-opening. This first chart that I want you to look at today, the parent I did a parent survey. This is the data that we gathered from that, or I gathered. I won't read all of it to you. I just want you to look at it. It's interesting. Strongly agree, agree, neutral, disagree, or strongly disagree. And sometimes looking at the neutrals, you think, which way are they going? Looking at this, the high school's reading writing program is high quality. Well, 12% of the parents strongly agree. 38% of the parents agree. 22% are neutral. They're not quite sure. 28% disagree and 0 strongly disagree. And you think, well, only 28% disagree. But then when you have to factor in that 22%, which are neutral. My child has access to a variety of resources. And the numbers are pretty low on the agree side. Only 7% strongly agree and 19% agree. Again, 14 are neutral, 43% disagree, and 17% strongly disagree. So this is not a good thing for our score that we're getting from parents. My child is well prepared to continue his or her education after graduation. And we're weighing pretty heavy on this time on the agree side. 15% strongly agree, 42% agree. Again, there's 17% that are neutral. Then you have 26% that disagree. I'll skip down. I want us to have some time for other things, but I want us to look at the very final one. The views of parents are seriously considered when school decisions are made. And you think, of course we consider how the parents feel, but do they feel that way? Let's look at strongly agree, 0%. Let's look at agree, 11%. 17% are neutral, 49% disagree, and 23% strongly disagree. As I said earlier, this is eye-opening because we see parents at the school, at functions, at different things that we have, and they seem like they love our school, that they believe in our school. But then when you look at the data, 49% disagree, and they think that we don't consider what they think when we make decisions. Another 23% strongly disagree. We have to look at this data. It's very, very important to our district. Let's now look at our student survey data. This is very interesting. As a reading specialist, it's very important to me to know how the students feel about reading. Our high school students say 38% strongly agree that they enjoy reading. 27% agree that they enjoy reading. 9% are neutral. 22% disagree. They don't enjoy reading. And another 4% strongly disagree. So we have some work to do to get our students to all enjoy reading. The second one, having an opportunity to read every day is important to me. 21% strongly agree. 42% strongly agree. I'm feeling pretty good at this point. 63%. Another 7% are neutral. We have 19% disagree and 11% strongly disagree. I have to think, are the students who are strongly disagreeing, are they our African American population? Look at the third one, 31% strongly agree that they consider reading a form of homework, something they have to do for homework. 24% agree that it is something they have to do for homework. This kind of burst my bubble, and it shows me that I still have several students to win over to get to the point where they enjoy reading. The final one is huge. My teachers do a good job of motivating me to read. 11% strongly agree. 23% agree. That's 34%. Well, where's the other portion of the student? Where do they fall? 5% are neutral, 39% disagree, and another 22% strongly disagree. This shows data indicate that we must change how the students perceive reading. And the next kind of data we'll look at is our student learning data. Now we are looking at the 11th grade end of course literacy test. That is the main literacy test that we have had during the benchmark era. Now with the implementation of the PARCC test, 9th grade and 10th grade and 11th grade will all be testing, but as of this past year and this past test that we took in 2014, we're looking at 11th grade scores. The 2013-14 ACCEP for our high school states, the targeted achievement group or GAP group is African Americans, must meet an AMO of 61.54%. This on the 2014 test. Economically disadvantaged students must meet 62.50. Students with disabilities must meet an AMO of 57.15. This means, when you look at it, that the African American students must score 61.54% on the 2014 test. This is a 68% increase from the 2013 scores. The next slide, I have a 3-year bar graph that you can see our end of course literacy results, starting beginning with the year 10-11, moving through the school year 12-13. Now you can see the blue bars. These are the 10-11 scores, and you can see that they actually in combined population stayed the same the first 2 years, and then we had an increase last year. Then the 11, you look at the Caucasian scores. In 10-11, we dropped in 11-12 from 10-11. Then we had a big increase in our Caucasian scores this past year. Now looking at African Americans, pretty almost straight across. We're not seeing any gains here. This shows that we must change what we're doing at school. It's very important. School processes data. This is the last kind that we'll be looking at today. What programs are we operating in our school that make our school successful, or we need to tweak and change? In 2012, our high school did implement a mandatory 20 minutes of sustained silent reading into the daily schedule. Data from a student survey that I did indicate that 70% of the students in grades 9 through 12 read for the entire 20 minutes every day. They just sit and read. No interruptions. 65% of the student survey appreciate having that 20 minutes. The next one I love, the number of books checked out in the high school library. September through January of each of the years. It's not the entire year. We have had an increase of books checked out from 796 in 2011 to 3,383 in 2013. This is huge. We almost tripled our amount of books that are being checked out. Could this be why the 11th grade end of course scores are having an improvement? But what about the African American students? Are they checking out books? Do we have the books that they're interested in? Smithfield High School also offers many extracurricular activities, including band, chorus, East, a variety of sports, cheerleading. We have AP courses. We have early college classes offered via CIB. We have National Honor Society, a variety of clubs and organizations. Our parents and patrons are invited to a variety of events at the school. We use Facebook, Twitter, the high school website, and we have our very own app for smartphones and iPads. Now we'll actually talk about, we have identified the problem. According to the 11th grade end of course literacy scores, our high school may not be meeting the instructional needs of the African American students who attend here due to the significant gap in their scores. The next chart shows hunches and hypotheses about why the problem could exist. The first one, most of the African American students are living below the poverty level. Over 69% of our student population is living under the poverty level. Our high school is a predominantly white school of students and staff. Where do these African American students, where do they fit in? What role models do they have here at school? There is a lack of adequate African American teachers and staff in our school. We have 2 certified African American teachers. One of those is the high school principal, and we have 2 non-certified staff. There's a lack of exposure that our students have to African American authors and illustrators in our library and classrooms. Parent involvement at the high school has not been strong, and it is declining. And the leadership team of our high school has not been actively seeking out best practices for teaching and motivating our African American students. This brings up a very important question. We've talked about it several times. Why are our African American students underperforming their Caucasian classmates? There are two of these categories that I have here on this chart that our school district has control over. That would be the processes that we teach them and the teachers. What the families and students bring to the school, that's out of our control, and we really cannot make excuses for that. Let's look at the processes. There's a lack of books and reading material written and illustrated by Black authors. We've talked about that. We must fix that problem. There's a shortage of available technology in the high school. We've made strides, but we need to continue adding more Chromebooks, more iPads, more computers. Professional development is costly, and the funds have been cut, but we must find a way to improve our school's means of reaching these students. We have a predominantly white school of students and staffing, so we must actively recruit minority teachers. Let's look in the teacher category. Teachers have not been trained in teaching strategies that are best practices for African American students. They must be trained. Several of our teachers provide lessons through lecture. This is not a preferred teaching strategy for African American students or for any student. The faculty and staff are predominantly white, and many of them do not try to understand or embrace the African American culture or traditions. And teachers do not have access to African American literature when planning for their lessons. This must be changed. As we work through the process of implementing changes at the high school, we need to consider who should be involved in the implementation process. And this is a list of multiple stakeholders that should be involved. Students from multiple grades, a wide representation, teachers from a variety of subjects, not just the English department, instructional assistants, substitutes, parents from diverse backgrounds, school and district administrators from other buildings, school board members, school staff including secretaries, custodians, cafeteria workers, bus drivers, community members, local business owners, and any other stakeholder who is critical to. There are 4 important steps for bringing the diverse population together in order to improve our school's culture. Students and teachers must be respectful of different backgrounds that students bring to the table. We must be proactive in promoting diversity. Teachers must structure their lessons to acknowledge different perspectives. Learning groups should be diverse and structured so that activities require each student to participate. Students learning that each person in the group can contribute and have something of value to say. Students will learn that. Mutual respect must be part of the equation. Teachers must not tolerate disrespect. The principal must be involved in creating this learning environment. The principal must set the tone for having a policy of no excuses. The final slide is my recommendations for closing the achievement gap between African American students and Caucasian students, making our high school more culturally diverse, and for lining up with our literacy program with our school vision. The first recommendation, teachers will participate in professional development or professional learning communities that focus on motivating at-risk students. These communities will meet on a weekly basis and talk about the strategies that we're using and share. I would like the district to buy books and professional texts that address this gap in instruction and learning. These books will be used not for a one-time job in a workshop, but on a weekly basis. The district must make a concerted effort, number 3, to recruit and hire more minority teachers. We want high-quality teachers, of course, but we do want us to focus on trying to find minority teachers. Number 4, the district must allow the high school media specialist to order recommended texts for high school African American students, texts that are current, texts that will motivate them to want to read. And finally, the district will provide a workshop that will follow up instruction on collaborative learning and differentiating instruction. Again, we need lots of follow-up for this to come in place, to take the place of the lecture and the copying notes. Let's remember, culture influences everything that happens in a school. It's a powerful force in any organization, and it's critical to consider data as we implement our school vision. School data in all forms can help us, but we have to remember that it's constantly changing. Culture influences the way people think, what they value, how they feel, and how they act. Some school cultures are nurturing, but some are toxic. Let's all work together, because creating a positive school climate will take work and commitment, but it will be so worth it. Thank you today for all of your attention. I appreciate you.